Pledge.
Public hearing for.
You're supposed to go.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is a public meeting, Borough Council, Borough of New Providence, County of Union, State of New Jersey. Adequate notice has been given in accordance with PL 1975. Chapter 231, annual notice of revisions or made in conformance with Section 13 of the Act. We have a ordinance 2410. Please read the title.
An ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 257 of the Code of the Borough of New Providence entitled Vehicles and Traffic.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, what this ordinance is limiting the parking over at High Street by the Murray Hill Vet. Okay, anybody having a comment? Seeing no one, I declare the public hearing closed. Roll call, please.
Ms. Belisca?
Aye.
Mr. Kaminsky?
Aye.
Mr. DeSarno?
Aye.
Mayor Morgan?
I don't.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mrs. Jeffrey?
Yes.
Mr. Kogan?
Yes.
Mrs. McKnight?
Yes.
Okay, we have approval of minutes for June 25th. Motion, please.
So moved.
Well, all in favor?
Aye.
No, so be it. Okay, we have correspondence, JCP&L, proposed rate hikes. Boy, it's hot. New Jersey American, proposed rate hikes. The Union Valley County Board of Commissioners, the Kids Recreation Trust Fund, and I know we've already put in for that. Mayor of Montville to request to join affordable housing litigation. Board of Adjustment for Mazaka, 41 Commonwealth. Mayor Mancini, Long Beach, talking about want us to offshore wind projects. New Providence Fire Department, Kenneth Minsky, junior membership. Okay, any comments? Seeing none, we'll go to council business. Advisory boards.
Let me
It
take,
doesn't say.
yeah, I'm going to take this real quick, if I may. So Bernadette, apologies, because I didn't get a chance to kind of talk through this on Friday. I was a little preoccupied with my kids' graduation party over the weekend. You there?
Yeah, somehow I'm,
There's a copy.
We're up to.
yeah.
There's just no heading who it's assigned.
Yeah, there's no heading on it. It's
Not
unassigned. It's unassigned.
On the sign,
On the
that's what I'm
sign, that's
saying,
why.
I didn't know.
Yeah, no, it's unassigned.
So I looked at it and I was just wondering, my first thought was, why do we want our advisory committees at National Night Out? The National Night Out's a night for our police, fire, rescue, community event. And, I know we've approved the diversity committee, which I think kind of makes sense to be there. It's always good, programming with the diversity committee. It was approved in February. Our municipal alliance always there, which is also, I think, was more in line with the event itself. But in regards to all the other committees, in my opinion, I think we should be going through the committee and the council liaisons, right? And they should be bringing those to the agenda, which is basically what we've done in the past. So, I don't know how you guys feel, but in my opinion, if you guys agree, I think we should remove this from the agenda.
Yeah, because usually it's the council liaison who, at the meetings, we discuss it at the committee meetings. And in the case of the diversity committee at the meeting with the liaison and the committee requested to be at National Night Out. We did not have, that was not the case for the Mental Health Advocacy and Education Committee. We did not mention that. I know we talked about it.
It was never
But
finalized.
it was never finalized, never on our calendar, so we did not put in to have that approved, so I'm not really sure where it was coming from. But I agree, National Night Out, the intention of it really is to recognize and honor the first responders. And this really seems to be a step not in that direction. So I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I mean,
I can speak to the Sustainability Committee. I don't think we had this on our calendar as to have it, so it is news to me that
Yeah.
this is
okay.
being
Yeah.
requested. I do think, though, I think in future National Night Out, it wouldn't be bad to have, I know Nadine is 100% correct, it's for the first responders, it's a whole celebration of them and all their service they provide, but it is an opportunity maybe for the borough to promote, whether it's recreation programs or reverse 911.
Yeah, it's
things
community.
like that.
Yeah,
yeah.
Where you can do everything together.
Community-related
Yeah.
committees, I think it's a great idea. But, yeah, I think, like I was telling you, like beautification committee, I think wanted to do a table, never really materialized. It's, like we were saying, it's August 6th, I think nobody's, like,
It's
nobody
the middle of
manned
summer.
up, nobody owned up to like saying I could sit at the table. So just kind of something that kind of fell
Well,
away.
if I'm not mistaken, the PBA pretty much runs it, right?
Yeah, who, yeah, I was
No,
gonna
it's-
say.
Yeah. But also keep in mind, we just had our first volunteer fair in January, which was amazing. That was a really great opportunity for all of our volunteer committees to come out and, you know, we're always looking for volunteers, there's no doubt about that. So that volunteer committee, I think, filled that gap, and I think that was an excellent thing. I would love to have that again in the future, and I think that would be a better placement for something like this than National Night Out.
So there really are no advisory committees that can, so none of my advisory committees are gonna be at National Night Out, so who?
Nobody put in for it.
Nobody
so
put in for this,
So-
right?
I'm not really sure.
When sustainability was asking, I didn't hear from anybody else, so I asked Allison to write the letter for everyone in case anybody at that point wanted to. Municipal Alliance always participates, and they were also on the resolution.
When did the Sustainability ask for it?
A week ago?
So was it at a committee meeting?
I don't know.
I was not aware.
I don't know.
Because that's the course it should follow is through a committee meeting. So if that wasn't the case, then it shouldn't be on the agenda.
Chair those, so I was not aware of that. Okay.
So what do we do?
I agree
So
with
we
you,
agree?
Matt.
I agree.
I agree.
Okay. Let's do a roll call so I can get it off the agenda.
Ms. Williston?
Aye.
Mr. Kaminsky?
Aye.
Mr. DeSarno?
Aye.
Mrs. Jeffrey?
Yes.
Mr. Kogan?
Yes.
Mrs. McKnight?
Yes.
Okay, administration. Lisa?
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 2024-211 is a resolution of the Borough of New Providence authorizing the purchase of electricity supply services for public use on an online auction website. So this is, the borough does this every year and is usually very successful in securing a low rate. They are given, so the borough's given permission to negotiate a contract if the auction is favorable. So we have certain parameters, certain kilowatts or less for 12-month term, certain kilowatts or less for 24 months, 36 months, 48 months, and 60 months. So we are authorizing approval for them to enter into contracts if the kilowatts per hour are favorable.
Can I ask a question, Bernadette? What's been the logic? Do we go with 12, 24, 36?
It really depends on the auction. This is for streetlights,
Oh, for street, okay.
specifically for streetlights.
Gotcha.
The auction people that we use think that the borough will save about $5,000 a year on electricity use for just the lights.
I mean, if you go longer, it gives you budget certainty, but then
But
it's
it
cheaper.
depends, but it
Right.
could be more money. So once the auction comes in tomorrow morning, Jim Testa and I will sit down and
Gotcha.
we'll discuss where we think we should end up.
Thank you.
Okay, community activities. Matt?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution 212 is a resolution authorizing the application for the 2024 Kids Recreation Trust Fund Grant for the Borough of New Providence. This is an additional grant than, as you were aware, we've put in for a grant to upgrade Oakwood Park with all new playground equipment. It's kind of in progress. This is an additional $55,000 grant for picnic tables, benches, and some shade areas to also add to that area. So,
Need that shade area.
yeah, especially in that area with the kids, for sure. I'm very excited about Oakwood Park and where we're going with that, so hopefully that all comes through. Resolution 213 is a resolution authorizing the extension of lease agreement between the Borough of New Providence and the New Providence Community Pool and Recreation, Inc. This is an additional 90-day extension. We extended the lease prior to the summer season, right? They're in the middle of their season now. So we're going to extend this to another 90 days, and then we'll sit down with the pool board and finalize the lease with those guys.
Okay, engineering, Wallace.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 214, resolution accepting the proposal of Colliers Engineering and Design, Inc. for professional engineering services regarding Ping Wang property supplemental site investigation. So Colliers has completed a site investigation report that's dated March of 2019 in support of this subject property. The investigation to date has funded under a grant from the Hazardous Discharge Site Remediation Fund. Based on those results, a supplemental grant application was submitted to NJDEP in an amount of $40,703, and the New Jersey Economic Development Authority will review for final approval. Resolution 215, resolution accepting proposal of Colliers Engineering Design, Inc. for professional engineering services regarding replacement of the New Providence Pool Bridge. So this is we've been talking about this resolution authorizing Colliers to prepare the final construction plans and engineering estimate from permanent replacement structure that will meet the site-specific needs. This includes bid documents, advertising, reviewing submitted bids, preparing recommendations for the award of the contract for consideration.
Okay, what we got?
Finance.
Diane, Finance.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 2024-216 is a resolution requesting permission to authorize the establishment of a dedication by rider for developers' escrow funds pursuant to NJSA 40A:4-39 and NJS 40:55D-53.1. And this resolution requests permission to set up a developer's escrow fund. During our state budget review this year, we were directed to review our approved dedicated rider list, as there was a trust fund account that was not approved by the state, and this resolution is just following the comments from the state to address this before the 2025 budget cycle. Resolution 2024-217 is a resolution providing for the insertion of any special item of revenue in the 2024 budget pursuant of NJSA 40A:4-87, Chapter 159, PL 1948, my favorite one, National Opioid Settlement 2024, and this is inserting $2,809.93 into the budget, and that amount was received as part of the National Opioid Settlement. Resolution 2024-218 is a resolution authorizing payment of the attached bills payable list in the amount of $889,517.54. Our significant items are for $356,613.07, which is payment 3 of 3 of our yearly assessment payable to the Garden State Municipal JIF. Our July appropriation for the library in the amount of $98,258.08. Whitmer Public Safety Group in the amount of $48,276.44, and that's turnout gear and fire department equipment. We have June garbage service for suburban disposal in the amount of $45,333.33. Also, Grand Sanitation June recycling service of $32,445. Wheel Colt and Company, which is the audit of the 2023 financial statements in preparation of our LoSAP review report in the amount of $34,200. And our last one of significance is to Quality Electrical Construction for $26,447 rapid flasher at Academy Street crosswalk. And it sounds a lot worse than it is, so, sorry. My ginger tea isn't doing anything either.
Okay, we have raffle applications, 2 for the bandwagon, RA 1220 and 1221, and the PTA Saltbrook, RA 1222 and 1223. Have a resolution 219 for new rules and regulations for the police department. And they've gone over, brought them up to state codes, and it's been reviewed by our legal counsel. Resolution 220 is appointing school crossing guard Yanira Batista Gomez for a period of July 17th through December 31st. Resolution 221 is what we were just talking about, the pedestrian crossing flashing lights over at Academy in Springfield. As you know, the thing was going on, it never stopped, so we have to get it repaired. Okay, resolution memorandum understanding agreement between Borough of New Providence, Union County Police, Sheriff's Department, Union County Police, Prosecutor's Office, Kane University Police, Union County Department of Public Safety, and Trinitas, and that's to be in participation with the ARRIVE program. Okay, and next we have Alex, Public Works.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 223, resolution authorizing the application for the 2024 Greening Union County Grant for the Borough of New Providence. So this authorizes the application of the grant in the amount of $2,500. The Greening Union County Grant allows every tree that we purchase as a municipality to be matched by Union County, tree for tree, complete with installation by forestry professionals with a 1-year maintenance guarantee. That's a good one, yeah. Resolution 224, resolution approving requisition R2401417 for Riverview paving in an amount not to exceed $125,000 for paving of additional roads for the 2024 road resurfacing project, Morris County Co-op number 6. Simply additional money allocated in the 2024 capital plan for road paving. We're still waiting for a date for the contractor to begin the work. Resolution 225, resolution approving requisition R2401353 for Store Tractor Company in the amount not to exceed $47,403.90 for the purchase of a Workman ball field cart, ESCNJ Co-op number 65MCE SCCPS, approving the purchase of a ball field cart to replace the existing cart that is about more than 15 years old.
What's a ball field card?
It's the cart that the DPW uses to go around to the baseball fields and.
Pick up balls?
No, to move,
Screen
the infield and all that. Yeah.
Carry equipment to line the fields,
Gotcha.
things like that.
Last one, resolution 226, resolution approving requisition R2401475 for Cambria Automotive Companies, Inc., in an amount not to exceed $282,820 for the Peterbilt Model 548 truck, Sourcewell contract number 060920. So this approves the purchase of the Peterbilt Model 548 truck for plowing. This replaces the truck that was destroyed in the fire last year.
Okay. We'll do council committee reports. Before I do anything, Saturday was a very sad day for America. President Trump, almost very, by the grace of God, wasn't assassinated, but Corey Capatori lost his life, and 2 other people are in serious condition. So I think we should take a moment of silence and just hope things calm down. Thank you. Next meeting in August, the public safety meeting met. As many of you know who have attended council meetings, is that the police department is in dire need of renovation. The council agreed to renovating this area since 2015. We've been putting money aside, so we wouldn't get a huge bill, and we'd be able to get this thing done the right way. So next month, next council meeting, there will be a presentation by the architects and I guess Keith and,
Chief Hen,
yeah,
Police Department.
yeah, and the police department to go over what they think they need. And we want the public to be fully aware of what's going on, so there's no questions. But I know we had a report where Homeland Security said we needed an upgrade. Things like when we raised the windows here, so people couldn't come in. The police department, all the windows are low. So, I mean, it's things like that, the bathroom facilities and locker rooms need to be redone. It's something that has to be done. So, that's for next month. Okay, Diane, anything?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. We had our bi-monthly meeting with the Board of Health. Our PSAs are still going out, so look on the official source, the website, and the Facebook, and I believe it's also on the Instagram pages. Like dengue fever is actually very prevalent. It's mosquito-borne illness. And if you get bitten by a mosquito that has dengue fever, then if another mosquito bites you, they get it and pass it on. So it's kind of spreading. And so stay by me, because I always get bitten by mosquitoes. So maybe you'll all be safe. But certain things like that, you have to be careful with. Our contract is up at the end of the year. The Westfield Board of Health currently has 9 towns involved in it, and I think we are very well served. We are going to have additional information at the next meeting, which is in 2 months, but they're looking for a 5-year contract, which would be beneficial. They're moving all their towns to a 5-year contract. That would be beneficial. It helps us with planning, and it helps with a lot of information. So that's, more later. And that's about it, other than the Historical Society. I think that they just wrapped up their cemetery tours, and I think that John Sponauer, thank you, shout out to him, he's a great host for those, and I think that's about it.
It's amazing how much history we have in that graveyard.
Yeah.
It's really amazing.
Actually, there was, sorry, one more thing, the Film Ready, Cindy Reese just sent something out to the businesses in case the businesses want to participate, because you can have the municipality and then also businesses. So that's, alive and well and moving along. So shout out to Cindy. Thank you for getting that done too.
Okay. Matt?
So first, the fireworks, just want to mention, we had a really great show. I really enjoyed it. I want to thank the Borough Finance Committee as well for pulling that off, and it's one of my favorite events. I really got a kick, actually. My son's he's going to be a junior. He's a counselor, counselor for the first time. And this happened with both my other 2 older kids as well. As we walk around 4th of July, all the kids are running around, and this is around the time where they start to get to know other camp counselors, and so they're running up to him, and he thought he was like the coolest thing since sliced bread, because all these little kids, were saying hi to him. But yeah, just a great community event, and just want to thank everybody for that. Concert in the park last week. Kinderhook played. I thought they sounded great. The Lions Club grilled free hot dogs, and I thank them for that. Prestige Diner donated them. That's cool.
The endless hot dog.
Yeah. I actually got a chance to talk to a resident that told me he grew up in New Providence, and the band Kinderhook, and maybe you know this, I don't, used to be a really big band back in the day. He was saying almost 40, 50 years ago when he was in high school. And they used to go down the shore and listen to them play. So he was a real thrill for him. So that was kind of cool. And he was saying, I think it's 50th high school reunion, I think is coming up. So anyway, the next concert's the 18th. We have Elefante Band coming, so that's pretty cool. And then the 25th, Asbury Fever. This is Mr. DeSarno's, one of Mr. DeSarno's favorite bands, I believe. This is
The band I was thinking of.
Are you gonna dance?
That's the, is that the Bruce Springsteen cover band, I think, right?
So-
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, they're really good.
And just note, you know, if you'll mention this at all, but 6:30 prior to that concert on the 25th is, you know, the New Providence Green Challenge, right? So they'll do some raffles and we'll talk about some winners there. So come early, check that out. Lastly, we did lose a community member, Sal Nesto. Sal was the commissioner of our baseball league, and I got to know him very well through that baseball. He's also a coach of our New Providence Reds, won multiple championships. Just a great family guy. Just a quick story. I was coaching my son, and he's like, hey, I love the way you coach these kids. I love the way you talk to them. I want you to take the kids to Cooperstown. He gave me that opportunity, and it was just, I'll never forget it. And I'm sure my kids appreciated that opportunity to go to Cooperstown, so that was pretty cool. So I just want to offer my condolences to the Nesto family. That's it.
Okay, Pete.
No, nothing new to report. I just say, you know, stay hydrated and check on your neighbors.
Nadine?
Pretty much the same, operations normal. Just everybody enjoy your time at the pool. It's been a great season so far.
Not much, just two announcements. One is July 17th, I guess that's tomorrow. Thursday, sorry. Presbyterian Church is having the drive-through dinners again.
Wednesday, that's
Wednesday.
tomorrow.
That's
It's
tomorrow.
Wednesday.
17th.
Those are Wednesdays.
That's tomorrow.
Yeah, today's the 16th.
Oh, sorry,
Tomorrow.
my bad.
17th. Anyway, you go in through Passaic Street. It's a great program. And then the library is also having a blood drive on July 30th, 12:30 to 6:30 p.m.
Okay, Lisa?
I want to just give a shout out to Stacy May. She's our library director. She attended the American Library Association conference, which is evidently enormous. It's over 5 days, 13,000 people attend. She was invited to speak, and she spoke on community surveys, analytics, and using those resources to really read your community and their needs. And she used our library, of course, as an example. So I just, so kudos to her for being invited to speak and represent New Providence in front of the whole country. So it's amazing. It's cool. And then lastly, I just wanted to give an update. Bernadette, Diane, Nadine, and I have been working on the BCC handbook, which is the Boards, Commissions, and Committees handbook. We've been talking about it a while. It is a lot of work, more than we thought it would be, but it is coming along, and I think that everybody's going to be really happy with it when it's done. We will have a template to give to committees and boards and commissions so they know how to operate, how to get things done. We've got checklists in there and everything you would want. So hopefully within a couple months we can roll that out to everybody.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Bernadette?
Thank you, Mayor. Where to start? New Jersey American Water continues daytime closures on South Street while they continue the jack and boring underneath the bridge by the Murray Hill Inn. That work is supposed to wrap up by Friday, and they will be going back to night work starting next week to do the tie-ins for the rest of the water main. This project is on schedule to be completed prior to the opening of school, and once the trenches settle, repaving of South Street should take place between October and November.
Have they decided what they're gonna do by OLP?
It's my understanding that they're going to use the existing water main that's there underneath OLP to avoid any other mishaps.
What happens if that blows?
I would have to assume that they've taken everything into consideration and that that pipe was probably replaced with the bridge 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's as old as the rest of the line.
It's
Okay.
not.
Yeah, it would make sense if they did
Yeah.
it then. Okay.
Passaic Street Bridge closure and detour look to be at least a few weeks out. When the bridge closure for construction nears, detour signs will be placed up. We'll have information out. Currently, final project coordination is still happening between Union County and the contractor. That is not a borough project, that is a county project. And we have some say in the matter, but not a lot. The contractor does have 365 days to complete the project, and the clock started on June 19th for that. So if anything seems to be happening sooner, I'll let everybody know. We'll put it out on the website.
Bernadette, in addition to the communication to our residents, that'll be heavily communicated to our local business
Yep.
community, obviously, as well.
Yep. July 22nd, we're having the pre-con meeting for the Maple Street Improvement Project. This project was awarded to Portofino Builders in the amount of $567,907 and consists of roadway improvements along Maple Street between Central and Springfield. It includes milling and paving, construction of accessible curb ramps, installation of granite block curb, full-depth pavement repair, installation of various drainage pipes and structures, and resetting of manholes, repair of interior drainage structures, and replacement of inlet curb pieces. I'll have a better idea, but the goal is to have that also completed prior to the opening of school, so it doesn't interfere with Saltbrook. Riverview Paving was awarded the state contract for road resurfacing for the entire state. This is kind of an unusual situation for us. Generally, the state contract is broken up into north, central, and south, and mostly awarded to 3 different contractors. So Riverview has the entire state this year, so we're having trouble getting us on their calendar for our road paving. So the roads that are on the website are the roads that will be paved, but I have no idea, we still have no idea what time frame they're going to give us.
That doesn't seem.
It doesn't seem right, correct? Correct. And it's my understanding that they're not allowed to subcontract it out, so it's them.
Really? Okay.
Interesting.
This time we have public comments. Anybody wishing to address council, please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Yes, Kathleen.
Good evening, Kathleen Dolan, 12 Laurel Drive. I wanted to ask a question about the correspondence from the mayor of Montvale about the request to join in the affordable housing litigation. There wasn't any comment about what the council plans to do about that. Have you guys made a decision?
Well, what they want to do is band a bunch of towns together. He wants everybody to chip in $10,000 and then another $10,000. It's open-ended. The fact of the matter is, this is a court decision that came up with this stuff. How are you going to fight it in court when the New Jersey Supreme Court's the one who issued it? It makes no sense. We had the same type thing with the Pilgrim Pipeline, about 5 years ago, and I said, this is an open-end book. We give $10,000, next thing you know, they're going to want another 10, another 10, another 10. We never got into it, and what I said was correct. And it's an open-ended book, and the Pilgrim Pipeline never came anyway, and these towns spent all these money. But Milburn has fought the affordable housing mandate for years. They had a legal bill of over $1 million. It's not something I recommend we do.
And the judge just ruled against them.
Of course, there's nowhere to go. You can have all the consortium you want, but you're not going to overturn the bill. The only way you could probably do it is if the legislature passes law, or we go to public referendum and let the people decide. We're between a rock and a hard place, and I just don't know, spending good money after bad, it makes any sense. We've talked to our planner planner said, not a good idea. So that's where we're at.
Okay.
And just a lot of questions, open-ended questions, like we don't know which municipalities are gonna be involved in
Right.
it, or what happens if this happens. It was very vague and there's just not a lot of detail
I
there.
mean, sometimes when towns band together, like we have previously, a bunch of our towns got together to work with Jersey Central Power and Light to take care of different problems. That's a whole different thing. That's not coming from the courts. And they did respond very favorably, at least in Providence. But, you know, doing something like this is, I don't see yeah, I really don't, so.
Okay. If there was some reason that there was interest in moving ahead with that, would that come to a public meeting to share that?
Yeah.
Okay.
We discuss it, but
Okay.
as,
It's not likely. Okay.
well, it's either, you go into a lawsuit or you don't. It's very simple. And if you want affordable housing, where a lot of people do, you know, you're fighting against a segment of the population that wants it. Personally, I'm not a big proponent. I don't care about the affordable piece, but it's the high-density piece that you have to, that's attached to it. Like we're assigned 312, and they want us to build 1,200 units. I mean, we can eat the 312, the 1,200's tough. So that's where we're at.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to comment also on the National Night Out dialogue that we had here. We didn't discuss it at the Sustainability
Yeah,
Committee.
I'm
It wasn't,
surprised,
it wasn't on our list of events, but it would be good to understand like, what the expectation is for people that do participate in the National Night Out. You know, I attended it last year. There were a wide variety of different community organizations that were there, not all related to law enforcement. So I think it would be helpful for there to be some clarity about what types of organizations are invited to participate in that with the table.
You probably ask the PBA for that.
Okay, so,
What it was, it morphed into something that it never should have been.
okay,
And I think it really morphed during COVID. Everybody just wanted to get out. And the business association wanted to get involved. And it just morphed out of something that was never supposed to be. It was just to honor the first responders. So, I mean, this is something we can look at again maybe next year, but it was to honor the police, fire, rescue squad, and emergency management. Make people aware that there are things that we do that they're not aware of, like Blue Angel and Arrive and a lot of different things. And it's a good venue for the fire department and rescue squad to entice people to volunteer. So,
yeah, okay, so I, would be happy to follow up with the PBA, but I've been to other national night outs in other towns, and there's nonprofit organizations that are not law enforcement related that are represented there to get their word out to their community, because a lot of people come out.
well, I've never been to anybody else's national night out, so.
Yes, so
I
that's what I'm
can't speak
saying,
to that.
it's not unusual to
I
have
think,
other
Kathleen, I
community
would suggest,
organizations.
like, my suggestion was, wouldn't be bad for the borough to publicize all of their community activities, everything we offer as a borough.
Right.
Which would include a lot of these.
Yeah, the borough could have a table.
Yeah.
And share all of that stuff. I think that
Correct.
would be a great idea. Okay. Then the last thing was around Resolution 224, which was an additional $125,000 for paving of additional roads. So does that mean that the list of roads that's on the website now is going to be expanded, or is this money covering those roads? Current roads?
It's capital money, right?
Okay,
The price of asphalt has gone up astronomically,
yeah,
so.
okay. Yes, it's an increase in price. Okay, no problem. Thank you so much.
Yes, Steve?
Steve Rossi, 843 Mountain Avenue. I just want to give a quick shout out to the rec department. I have two little kids. One's 4, one's 6 months. He hasn't done anything yet in the rec department, but my 4-year-old has, and my wife and I just wanted to say thank you to the rec department and all the great borough employees. She's home with the little guys, so I'm here with you. But more specifically, my son Eddie did an open gym for the last 2 years. My wife said specifically we have to give a shout out to Miss Laura at the open gym class. And then also, my son has done this summer, his first summer program is the mini playground at the Lions Park. And they have a new jungle gym there, you can tell, and the high school counselors are really great. So, these are little programs that, maybe don't get as much press as all the different sports, but to the parents, they really make a big difference because it gives us some time to have a quieter house for a little bit, and the kids just really love it, and my son really looks up to the big counselors. So anyway, just a quick shout out to the rec department, and thank you all for the great programs.
Thank you.
Coming out.
It's really awesome to hear, I'll be honest, especially Lions Park, because that's actually where my son's a counselor, so.
How much did you pay him?
I did not. That's awesome. No, and listen, I mean, we've been talking about it for as long as I've been on council, and for the 10 years I served on the recreation board, prior. I'm a huge fan of the recreation programming that we have in town, and the recreation department that Bernadette was in control of, director of for a few years, right? And now she's running the borough, right? So we get great people to run our programming, right? Our programming, it's really just great to hear because, in my opinion, real estate values and community, there's a lot of things that go into that, and just a little thing like recreation that, like you said, is kind of flies under the radar, right? We don't talk about it as much, but I'm just a huge fan. I think we've done a great job I've been here 18 years. It's one of my favorite things. So thank you for coming today and saying that. I appreciate that.
So you're saying when I was working with 2 3s and 4s in the rec, it prepared me for this?
Absolutely.
So I'm envious of you, Steve, because I'm on the other side of it in the sense that my youngest graduated last year. I have 3 daughters, and what you experienced was that special New Providence way, I call it. And that New Providence feeling you got was, the wonderful culmination of great activities by our rec department, and you have, great parental involvement and you're going to experience it all the way through, and you're just starting out, and it's wonderful. And then you'll see it culminate at the high school level when you see all these banners of state championships get raised because, I think our kids play together, and we just have many, and they're having fun along the way, and it's whether it's sports or the arts or music or anything. We seem to have kind of a winning recipe here and a happy recipe, and people feel involved, and that's why I serve on council. I think that's why many of us do, because we have something very special here. So enjoy the ride.
Our kids' lifelong friendships start at camp.
You know what I saw today, talking about recreation and sports? The football team I saw this morning, and they showed me the new helmets.
Nice.
They're white with green lettering, yellow, gold outline. I'll tell you, they're sharp. They are really sharp, and they were very proud to show. So, okay. Anyone else? Yes, Alan.
Hi, Alan Swanson, 47 Overhill Road. I have the sad kind of obligation to mention the passing of Ken Johansson, basically a lifetime resident of New Providence on Laurel. He died on July 8th. He was a member of the first graduating class of New Providence High
1960.
School. He was a life member of the Historical Society here in New Providence. He's a Harvard attorney. He's married to his wife, Wynn, over on Laurel for 51 years. And I was over visiting Wynn the other day. I got to know Ken rather well. Ken was the chapter chair of the Sierra Club for New Jersey for 11 years. I became active after he was no longer the chair, but I relied on Ken a great deal. As you might imagine, I'm one of the more involved and vocal members of the executive committee of the Sierra Club at the state level, and I would frequently talk with Ken about issues and sought his counsel on a regular basis. And he was in Spring Grove for a while, and I visited him there a number of times. I just wanted to bring up his passing, and it was I just felt it was very important to do that. And I'll pass around in case anyone doesn't know him. It has this picture on here, and you could pass that around for everybody. It has this picture of anybody who doesn't know him. I think.
Thank you.
I was talking to somebody who said that they had, well, I've known everybody here, but perhaps if I saw his picture. The other thing that I'd like to bring up is the crossing, the at-grade crossing, Livingston and Central Avenue. I lived for 10 years 3 houses down from the crossing, and so I have a lot of experience with the crossing. And Mayor Morgan, I'm sure you do as well, living up the street.
Every day.
This is my concern. This has been brought up a couple of times. I guess not necessarily here. But I'm told that the reason that the gate comes down when there's no trains coming is that they increase the sensitivity so that when the train comes into the Murray Hill Station, it triggers the gates. And the gates.
Ghost train.
I'm sorry?
The ghost train.
The ghost train comes by, yeah. That's one way to put it. I've witnessed a number of, this wasn't happening when I lived on Central Avenue. And I have actually witnessed some concerning occurrences there. I was on heading to a meeting here actually at one point, and it was a night meeting, when it was dark and not this time of year. And there was a car that obviously had gone too far in, and the train was actually coming. But I just bring this up as overall, this particular crossing bothers me. And they had come across, and the gate came down behind them, and they had to do a quick U-turn and head down Livingston to get off the tracks. I don't know why they were there. I mean, and then of course we recently had a car get hit there, and I talked with Chief Henn about it, and he said it apparently was somebody who just wasn't smart and paying attention. Unfortunately, I guess there was no serious injury. But I recently witnessed 2 examples of this that particularly bother me. And I'll tell you what Chief Henn and I, the discussion we had. And the one was coming up Central from South Street. And it was a long line because of the closure on South Street. And the gate came down, and it was the ghost train, and the gate went up, and Central had the green light, and the green light lasted less than 20 seconds. And of course, the cars were backed up, and they were anxious to get through, and there was a car there that stopped, and of course, the gate came down on the top of the top of the car. I mean, the gates are not going to harm the car, but it's just, the point is that, you know, that people were, and then then I was coming up Livingston with my wife, and there was a long line, and the ghost train came along, and it was a longer line, and the cars were backed up all the way to Marion, and because of the frustration, it came down. Central got a green light, came down again, and when it went up, everybody was very frustrated. Two cars that, you know, couldn't wait any longer went through the red light after it was went up. When I spoke with Chief Henn about this, my concern was people are becoming lax because they don't believe that there's a train coming. And his response was that, oh yes, we've talked with New Jersey Transit about this, and they've said the reason is that they've increased the sensitivity on the, and that's why it's going down for the ghost train. I just feel like you need to say something to New Jersey Transit and say, you cannot allow this structure to come down when there's no train coming, because people are becoming immune to it coming down. I mean, we've had fatalities in New Providence at crossings. I mean, you know, it happens at grade crossings, but that's why we need to take an extra effort to make sure that they're safe. So I'm just asking if you would contact them again.
I have talked to them about the ghost train, and Chief Henn knows it's one of my pet peeves. But we can reach out again to transit. It's frustrating sometimes.
Well, it's more than frustrating. It's a serious danger, I think.
Well, you're supposed to stop at the crossbar, which is way ahead of that gate. So, and there's plenty of time, you know, when you hear the bells for you to get through on the other side.
Well, absolutely. The people do stop. The frustration is that there's no train.
I mean, people have to obey the law. And, you know, I keep saying this, you can't enforce stupid. You know, if you want to play with a train, you're going to lose. That lady a month ago, she was very, very fortunate. She just froze on the tracks, and she was very fortunate. She walked away. So, but we'll give them a call, and I understand your concern. Thank you.
You know, you know, the point is that the people are obeying the signal, but there's no train. And so they're becoming,
what you're saying.
it's contributing to the people
I see people
saying.
going through and turning right on red when you're not supposed to.
Oh, well, I've mentioned that.
see it
I
all
tell you
the
when I'm on the bike,
time,
it's
so-
every, so yeah, please look into it.
Alan, I will tell you that every time there's an incident, it's very concerning, for sure. And you know, all of us here, you know, Bernadette, I'll tell you, we're in contact with her almost immediately when we hear something that happens, because, you know, as a council member, you know, obviously safety is very important, right? And I'm always wanting to know right away, you know, was it an accident, right? Did somebody do something on purpose, or was it the actual system that failed, right? And we're always asking those questions immediately because we want to be on it right away. And in our police department, you know, they do their due diligence, they do their reviews, right? They do their investigations, and they come back and they tell us exactly the details of everything that happens, and we go from there. I hear what you're saying. I mean, that's an obvious issue. If there's a gate falling and there's no train constantly, and someone's third time it happened to them, and the fourth time they're like, they ain't coming, let me go around. I get it. And we'll bring it up to our public safety team, and the best we can do, right, is just go back to New Jersey Transit, right? They control it, we don't control that, right?
Well, we did discuss it when that lady got hit, and they were right there.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I mean, to your point, I think we just.
You tell them that the citizens are rising up.
Unfortunately,
Listen, I don't doubt your concern about this one bit. That's not why I'm bringing it
No,
up
I get it.
at all.
No, I
I'm
think
just,
it's a valid point.
I really do feel like the citizens need to rise up and they don't really have any power at all.
Alan,
New Jersey Transit, that's for
unfortunately,
sure.
every time that New Jersey Transit comes out, they let us know that the gate is functioning as designed. That is their words, and I'm not saying it's right, but we've had them out several times to check the gate. And I live in that neighborhood also, believe me.
I'm just going to have to pay them a visit. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Yeah, Mark.
Hi, Mark Doherty, 335 Central Avenue. So wasn't going to originally comment on the train situation, but I do live 2 blocks from there. Understand ghost trains come through and they, it's frustrating, but as someone who has a daughter who's a year and a half, she is now learning safety precautions and all that fun stuff. She loves watching the train, but fully understands when those lights go on that like everything stops. So I'd rather, I understand the frustration that people go through of having to sit through an intersection of no train and waiting the extra couple seconds. But I'd rather have them go down with no train than have them not go down when a train is coming through. So, yes, please fix it if you can. But if it can't be fixed, I'd rather it stay this way than go the other way type of thing. The 2 things I did want to bring up were, one, I just wanted to compliment council on their notifications and engagement of the closures on South Street. Again, I do live on Central Ave, so it is something that I am close to passing. I go through there to get to my daughter's daycare, to get to work. So it has been helpful to know when the street closures are, specifically the timing. There are times when I come home later than it or leave earlier to know exactly when and the portions that are closed to know where I can kind of get through Central, that I understand if I'm trying to go to, the NP gas station, I can get there from Springfield, but not all the way through type of thing. So I think you guys do a great job communicating that, either through the Nixle alerts or the emails. It has been very helpful as a new resident to understand where the closures are in town.
I think it's nice for us to take credit for that, but that's.
Well, I appreciate everyone involved. I did have one question for Councilwoman Beliska. On the health committee, you said the council was renewing their contract with the Westfield Department of Health. Just out of curiosity, do you guys have any input on who's in charge of the Department of Health? I know it's the Westfield Department of Health, and there's 8 or 9 different towns that are all part of it.
Megan, right?
Yeah,
Avalon?
Megan Avalon.
Yeah.
The Westfield Board of Health is,
Board of Health, sorry.
yeah, the Board of Health, and we joined that because it's more cost beneficial. Actually, I can sit here and tell you, like, we actually are one of the few towns that also, maybe I'm misspeaking, but we're one of the few towns that actually has a public health nurse in our borough that we pay, and she's wonderful. But the Board of Health, we get their office, we have an assistant health officer, there's a nursing supervisor, there's 3 nurses on staff, so like, et cetera, et cetera. So there's all these people that we can buy into or, get information,
Access.
tap into, thank you. We can tap into.
I think it's about 12 employees. We have we have access to help from 12 dedicated employees for the Board of Health. And we, for a much lower price than having somebody totally in-house doing it. And we have their various areas of expertise and animal control and everything like that. So definitely a great bang for the buck and an outstanding department that we're happy to be a part of.
They
And
are
they're
great,
constant-
but does Westfield make those decisions
Yes.
about the hires or how it's going to be
Yes.
run?
Yes.
So we're
Except for our
just,
public nurse.
Except for the public
Yeah, for the
nurse, and
public
that's
nurse.
our hire.
But I don't
Jenna
think there's
Rhonda.
anybody that, well, in my small tenure, I mean, I've worked with some, or the people who come to the meetings, and they're amazing.
They are.
All the public service announcements, those are new. You were on during COVID,
Yeah,
right?
the
Like, it was
the
unbelievable.
COVID response
It's-
was amazing.
It's less than $70,000 a year to our current contract. So just FYI, like,
Yeah,
you
and
can't
I think
get
it's, yeah,
that-
I think it's a great idea. I would, my only recommendation would be if the towns that contribute into this or that buy into this, the Westfield Board of Health, that maybe they have some sort of, a recommendation on who is leading it, that it's not just the one town of Westfield, I assume, that is making that decision on their own, if there are multiple towns contributing into it.
I actually think towns pay different rates too, because I think Rahway's in there. It's a much bigger town than New Providence, Summit's in there. So, you know, they prorate
Madison.
your population and what you need.
The borough has a very good working relationship with Westfield, but Westfield is the host of that service. So all of those municipalities contract with Westfield. We do have a say.
Okay.
But ultimately, they drive the ship.
Yeah, and that was my only
Yes.
recommendation. I hope you guys have at least some input into
Yes.
it, since you are part of the consortium that is part of
We were one of
the entire
the,
Board of Health, so.
One of
Yeah,
the,
and they're
Good.
great. They're
Good.
excellent.
first to
Yeah, they
get
are
into that with them.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank
And-
you.
And just
Anyone else?
just to piggyback his comment on the closures and the communication, it is great, and I want to thank you for that. And I think it's summer, it's hot, right? Everybody's, I personally had to go pick up my son, and I went to make a left on South Street, and it was closed, and I had to go all the way around, and I was like, I should have checked before I go. So, it happens to all of us. Just please be patient. If you are going somewhere, you have to be somewhere at a specific amount of time. Check the website. The information is there and it's available.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to the contractors who are working on that project. It's been 100+ degrees out there, and they've worked every day. So
It's brutal.
patience is appreciated.
Yeah.
The other thing is, sometimes they're in the middle of doing something, they may run over, but they have to get this project done. So, sometimes they'll run an hour over or whatever.
For those of us that do this,
You
like,
understand it.
just staying, I know it's terrible, but to stay an extra half hour could save you a whole day.
Right,
And
that's what I'm
And that's
saying.
tough to understand at
Yeah.
times, but it is what it is.
I get it. I really do. Okay. Seeing no one else, I declare the public hearing closed. I need formal action on items 2 through 18, please.
So moved.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Belisca?
Aye.
Mr. Kaminsky?
Aye.
Mr. DeSarno?
Aye.
Mrs. Jeffrey?
Yes.
Mr. Kogan?
Yes.
Mrs. Bootnight?
Yes.
Can I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
No, so be it.